Hello there, welcome to the channel. This video is to send a clear answer to one of the followers who asked me if I was one of those based in Europe launching attacks against government officials, and that if no, what is my take on their actions? Gentlemen, let me be very clear. I am going to answer you by putting my words in one line. Violence begets violence. Hate begets hate. Let me expatiate. When the Holy Book talks about the kingdom of God suffered violence, and the violent taketh it by force, it's very simple. The government of Mr. Biya has trained Cameroonians to be a very violent people. And so Cameroonians are giving them back what they gave them. Have you asked yourself how the government of Mr. Biya has been dealing with people who oppose them? Let us go back to what happened in Biya. That is today known as the Anglophone crisis. When teachers and lawyers with legitimate demands told government that we want judges in courts of the Northwest and Southwest who understand the common law. What happened? Government gave a deaf ear. When teachers and lawyers said, we want our children of the Northwest and Southwest regions to be taught by Anglophone teachers, what happened? Government gave a deaf ear. When people of the English-speaking extraction of Cameroon, the Northwest and Southwest regions, said they wanted equal opportunities, equal development. Well, there is no development in Cameroon, but the little that we find elsewhere, they wanted it. Like what? A deep sea port that exists in Kribi should be in Limbe because Limbe has a natural deep sea. Government gave a deaf ear. When they took to the streets with peace plans and placards expressing their frustration, what happened? Government released its beasts, the soldiers, the police, the gendarmes. What did they do? They attacked and tortured lawyers, dragged them on the floor like common criminals. Some escaped through borders like Nigeria, neighboring countries like Congo, Gabon. When political parties in Cameroon that are of the opposition want to protest, peaceful protest enshrined in the constitution of our country, what does government do? Government launches a crackdown. When a journalist criticizes government, what does government do? Government attacks, torture, detain. When an artist like Longe uses his art, music, to sing and denounce all the corruption, embezzlement, bad governance in Cameroon, underdevelopment, you name the rest. What does government do? Government uses violence against them. So violence begets violence. Hate begets hate. And that is why I put it to you that what the government officials are getting overseas in the hands of Cameroonians is simply what they have been dishing out to Cameroonians as lessons. And they have got a firm grip of the lessons, they have understood it, and now they are delivering. So, do not come to ask me if I am for or against, because I will tell you that a hungry man is an angry man. You think it is easy to live overseas? Because people come back from overseas with some few hard currency and live a kind of flamboyant life, and you think it is all rosy overseas. No, it is not. If we had the opportunity to have a job that we can earn 300, 400,000 francs in Cameroon, we will stay there. You know why? Because there is no place like home. And so, with all what we have seen, gone through, and taken from the regime, the government of Mr. Biya, and we found ourselves overseas, we will not give them peace. That is the truth. And individuals have their different ways of, expressing their frustration. This is how I do mine. You must have watched the video, my message to the head of government, Chief Dr. Diongute, somebody I respect so much. But I had to ask him some very pertinent questions. Are you sure if you put me now in front of Mr. Diongute in Cameroon, he will allow me walk out of his office? Oh no, Kondengi will be my destination. If not Kondengi said in Yaoundé, they will torture me. That is just the government we've had for the past 42 years. And so, when you come to ask me what I think of those who are attacking government officials in Europe, I put it to you that violence begets violence, and that hate begets hate. You saw what happened to Martinez Zogo. How a journalist who announced that he has documents provided by a member of government, because I will tell you that men of the fourth estate, journalists, they have their sources right inside the presidency. And that is why information will always ooze out of the presidency. Information will always filter out of the presidency into our hands, that we can use it to inform you. And that is why I told you that the president of Cameroon, Mr. Biya, who has not been governing Cameroon since 2018, has told his collaborators that he does not want to run for president in October. But you see the pressure they are putting, you see the tactics they are using, calling on the chiefs to tell the president to run, calling on youths, manipulating some myopic and vulnerable youths to go out and say, Mr. President, our candidate for 2025, listen, it's a sham. There is no iota of truth in all of what they're doing. The man knows that at this time, he no longer has the energy. He no longer has the knowledge to govern Cameroon. And so he wants to retire. But because those around him are so worried that if he leaves, with all fingers pointing towards Professor Maurice Kamto as the next president of Cameroon. Are you sure that he is not going to come after these former ministers and members of government to tell them that, hey, it is time for accountability, and that Kondengi might be the possible retirement home for a majority of them? Are you sure he's not going to do that? Or if not Professor Maurice Kamto, any other leader, provided it is not somebody from the CPDM party? That is why you see the pressure is on. They are mounting pressure on Mr. Biya to run for president come October. So you see what Cameroonians who are based overseas are doing to government officials when they come to Europe. First, their visit to Europe is financed by taxpayers' money. Second, the taxpayers themselves do not have anything to live on back home. Yet these guys come and they squander money in hotels with their delegations. Do not forget that the former minister, public health, had a fracture and Mama Fuda had to fly overseas to treat a fractured arm. How can a minister in charge of public health fly overseas to treat a fractured arm, whereas there are hospitals in Cameroon? So you see, these people deserve what they are getting from Cameroonians who are based overseas, and they will continue to get it because these guys are not going to stop. They are a people with ambition, and a people with ambition is a people on a mission, and their mission can only come to an end when their goal is attained. And the objective of their mission is to make sure that they bring down the regime, the government of Mr. Biya. So, gentlemen, I want to put it to you that with all what is happening in Cameroon, can you go out and vote for the CPDM party? I'm asking you, can you go out and vote for the CPDM party in October? What can you show for? This coming election is going to be based on two people and two things. That is my next talk.